Hey Virgo, here's your weekly horoscope for February 14 to February 20th. Well, last week was kind of crazy with 6 planets in Aquarius, but at least this week there's still only 5 since the moon has moved on, and by the end of the week, the sun is going to move into your opposite sign of Pisces. So let's kind of see if we can figure out how the week might go for you. Well, first of all, let's look at Mars and Taurus. Now, normally Mars and Taurus is going to be kind of helpful to Virgo because the sign of Taurus is very positive for Virgo. Planets in that sign aspecting Virgo planets tend to energize you and help you make progress. And Mars is kind of like the workhorse of the zodiac. And in the sign of Taurus for you is in the ninth house of higher education and philosophy. And this is making a perhaps positive trines to some of your Virgo planets and motivating you to seek higher education, take a few courses, or even if you're not signing up for any courses, just to be focused a little bit more on learning. And that's a great thing. Even with Mercury retrograde, you can still learn a lot, believe me. Now, Mars, unfortunately, is squaring Venus in Aquarius from Monday on. Not so serious of a square compared to others, like the Saturn-Uranus one. But when Mars squares Venus, it tends to be a bit of a frustrating aspect for many people. With Venus in Aquarius and Mars in Taurus, not so negative for Virgo, either one, because even Venus in Aquarius forms perhaps a quincunx, which is, well, not the very best aspect, but it's also not the very worst either. So with Venus in Aquarius, Jupiter and Saturn, according to how they're going to aspect Virgo, usually it's an increase of work or a focus on work. And with Uranus aspecting Saturn and making changes, there's probably still some changes going on at work that you're still dealing with. Now, with Saturn square Uranus, that's a very serious aspect, and as well, it is affecting Virgo in the area of work too. So likely you may see new systems being brought in at work. Hopefully they're not instituting new systems during a Mercury retrograde, but perhaps working on something that, well, hopefully will be launched after Mercury retrograde, because bringing in new systems is really a big adjustment for a lot of people, especially Virgo. So if you are yourself working on changing some of the procedures, policy systems relating to your work or to your career, great time to plan it, discuss it even this week. Don't get into arguments. But next week would be better to institute some of these systemic changes that may be occurring in the workplace. Now, if your workplace is home, that could be where changes may be needed as well. It could be that you're temporarily working in a portion of the home that isn't working now, so maybe you'll make some changes in this coming week to further accommodate work at home, or somehow those two areas need to be worked out. Home and work need to be brought into balance. And for Virgo, given these Aquarius planets, it's likely that you got to sacrifice something to make it all work. Maybe you have to give up your art room or sewing room and turn it into a work office space, but it could be that that small sacrifice is actually what you need to move things forward, Virgo. With Neptune in Pisces, your opposite sign, sometimes that can create some confusion and delusion and other unpleasant feelings around certain aspects of life. But Neptune is actually sextiling Mars to Wednesday, which is a soft, pleasant aspect. It lends a little bit of creativity and a little bit of inspiration to your activities this week, Virgo. And you might actually get a eureka moment or be very, very inspired by someone or something that occurs and that you begin to work towards. Pluto also in Capricorn is in a semi-sextile with the Sun till Tuesday anyhow, and Pluto in Capricorn can be positive to Virgo, another earth sign, and Pluto helps you build foundations and structures. Now, likely you've already been building some new foundations and structures in your life in the last number of months. The pandemic has pretty much forced all of us to do so. However, as this week wears on, to the end of the Mercury retrograde, you probably will begin to see some concrete steps or activities to bringing some more stability to your work life and perhaps also your home life. Overall, with the moon ending up in Gemini by the end of the week, there could be some frustrations if there's just too much work going on by the end of this week. But other than that, it may not be that bad of a week for you, Virgo, compared to other signs. And do keep in mind, Mercury is still retrograde until the 20th. And after that, I think things would hopefully move along a lot more positively for you. So good luck, Virgo.